Captains, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, USS Endeavor, and we are going to look at part 2 of the Tashkent, taking a look at the pocket cruiser role that I think that this ship can play rather well. Gameplay code starts below if you'd like to skip all the stats and commander build, but we've got a new one at the helm, and here to showcase that is Sergio Splendento, along with his inspirations. This is a full old school Halloween throwback, which is pretty cool. He helps with our turret traverse for destroyers only, and we also have increased reload and speed for our destroyer. We have in the first slot, contact is imminent to help with our torpedo speed. Flank speed is going to add more to our base speed, and perceptive is going to help with reduced damage and the bearing locator. The unique perk for this build is also reducing the risk of our engine and steering gears being knocked out. And Unstoppable is also going to help us in case it does. Main battery mod 2 is in the first slot, helping with our turret traverse overall. Propulsion mod in the second, as always. And in our third, we have steering gears mod 3. And in the last slot, we have main battery mod 3 to help with our main battery reload. Onto the actual consumables, we have picked the heal over the smoke. So there's no hiding in this build. It's all about movement. And our engine speed boost is going to give us just a little bit extra kick when we need it. Onto the actual ship stats themselves, the survivability has not changed. It's still rather tanky at 21,500. Moving on to the artillery, this has gotten a little bit of a change. But because we don't have mortar, the AP and HE shell damage doesn't change along with the fire chance. They stay stock. We do give a little bit of an increase with our firing range and a slight better reload time of our main guns. But and the 180-degree turn time has improved. So that's about the only difference. So not much, but it is an improvement overall for the guns. Moving on to the torpedoes. And because of Splendento, the only thing that has changed is the 180-degree turn time has actually gotten slightly worse, but everything else is exactly the same. So the torpedoes are still really, really good. They're decent. They're very good range, decent speed, great reload at just over a minute. So overall, these torpedoes are still really, really good. No complaints in this department. Onto the AA, which is, again, laughable. And we don't face a carrier, thank goodness. So many games I've had, I did, and I didn't fare very well, so don't count on it. Onto the maneuverability. This is a big difference. As you can see, the maximum speed is 48.2 knots. We've gained over just about 5 knots extra on our base, and we've improved our rudder shift time to 3.4 versus 5.4. So a 2-second better rudder shift and almost a 5-knot better top speed is going to make this really tough to hit at range. Our concealment, because it's not spec'd into that at all, is not going to fare very well if you're looking at it from a destroyer perspective. But as a cruiser, this is actually relatively well concealed. So if you think about it in that way, this is a really good concealed cruiser build, even though you're technically a destroyer on paper. But let's play it as a cruiser, and we'll have a lot more fun. Onto the armor, it's laughable. You get hit with HE, it's going to hurt. That's why the 21,500 health pool is going to help. All right, Captains, here we go. We're on the map Trident, and we are going to be heading towards Alpha. Now, with this type of build, like we've discussed prior, I'm not a destroyer. I'm more of a cruiser. And because of that, my concealment is trash. So if I plunge straight in here to Alpha, I'm begging to get deleted. I'll be focused. I'm very fast. I'm pretty nimble. As a cruiser goes, I'm pretty well concealed. So pushing straight into the cap right off the get-go could be a recipe for disaster. And I'm not really ready for that. So even though I do have 2 battleships supporting me, and they will, they're not quite fast enough in order to get in here. So if I push out and get spotted immediately with my 7.3 concealment, then I'm toast. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to push in because I want to spot. I am going to still do that because that's just helpful to my team, and it's going to give me information as well. And nobody else is going to be able to do it over here. So I need to be able to spot these ships for my battleships. But the one thing I am concerned is of the 2 destroyers, which one's over here, and did they spawn over here? My bearing locator has it right off my right-hand side, so I am going to throw torps in that direction, more as zoning. Not quite sure what's going to happen with that. We're not pushing into the cap. I know a lot of people are probably going to look at that and go, well, why? Well, you also let everybody know, you give more information to the enemy if you plunge straight in there. And that Gorizia is also a big problem because he has SAP shells. And here I get spotted, and they're outside the cap, so I'm pushing in, and I'm going to utilize my speed, and I'm just going to kind of backtrack and get out of there, because I don't want to be spotted through this. These ships are now going to start taking shots at me, as you could just see right there. Our speed and maneuverability is going to help us evade these. Finally, we get unspotted. Our battleships are now moving into positions to be able to help us. But I'm going to slow down a little bit. One, because if I got spotted, more than likely by the destroyer, torpedoes are more than likely on the way. So I'm stopping to potentially dodge those. And wouldn't you know it, there they are. So my suspicions were correct. And the bearing locator hasn't really changed a whole lot. So, and those torpedoes, FYI, they're slow. Although, and they hit like trucks, that's from the black. So the black destroyer is over here. The Gorizia spots up. I don't know how exactly he got spotted, whether he's inside a smoke screen or that smoke screen is the blacks. And I don't know. But in either case, we get the cap. I'm shooting at his broadside here from distance, but I'll be honest, I should have been shooting AP, because if I had, I finally switched right here, but it's a little too late. I get the dev strike on the black that's in the smoke, and I think that if I would have been shooting AP there, I could have gotten a double. It would have been a yoink on that second kill, but in either case, both guys are down, which is ideal. Alpha is now taken. The destroyer threat on this side is down, thanks to my torpedoes, those sneaky torpedoes, and the black kind of staying in the smoke screen, and my bearing locator giving me the location of where he was. So our team does a really good job of picking up Charlie Cap on the far side, but now it's starting to get flipped by the enemies. I want to get into Bravo. We do have one battleship that looks like he's just about to crawl right in there, and so I'm going to go and support him. I wasn't quite sure which path to take. Again, I don't have great concealment, so I'm taking a little bit of a risk by maneuvering on their side of the island that's next to me to get into Bravo. But I'm debating, as you can kind of see. I'm like, do I go to the right? Do I stay on the left? I don't quite know. So I finally changed my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit. I've got a smoke screen here. Maybe that'll help aid in our concealment for just a little bit. It is the black destroyer smoke, so it's still out there, which is crazy. Here we get spotted by the radar, and I'm like, oh no, that's not good. But thankfully we don't last very long in it. It was from the Albemarle, which is right there, and we're just outside of his detection. There we get spotted visually from the Synop, but we're about to push right out of that, so now that's no longer a threat. Although during that brief amount of time, the Albemarle did take shots at us, so kudos to him. That's what you should do. Here I'm not going to make that mistake against the Gorizia. I'm immediately switching to AP, and I'm at range, so I feel pretty good about open water gunning this York. And so that's what we're going to do. And at range, these shells still pin rather well, and it only takes 2 salvos to finish them off. And so now he's down. Still getting shot by the Albemarle. He doesn't like me too much. Don't blame him. I'm in the Cap Bravo trying to get that flipped. We're still spotted, but now we're pretty much at speed, and most of these shells that are coming in at us are going to miss. Finally dropped spot, and we're going to finish taking this cap. So all 3 caps are going to be ours, and so they have 1 destroyer left, and although the ship count is pretty lopsided at this point, can't give up. As I kind of showed in the last video, I kind of recklessly pushed out and got absolutely wrecked whenever the shores took shots at me. So I'm not going to make that mistake this time. I am going to be a little bit more cognizant of my life, but want to stay alive as much as I possibly can. But our team's doing a really, really good job, which is always nice. Don't always get that, but it's nice when you do. The Venetto's coming around the corner. This game happened pre-buff for the Italian line, so this Venetto is still the original Venetto. I have looked into the buffs that the Italian battleships got, and it is rather spicy. So they've really turned these things into really good ships. So I may have to look into these a little bit better. Shooting at the Venetto, you're probably wondering, why am I not getting spotted? Well, he's in his he's in his rolling smoke, and he's concealed from me, even though I'm shooting, and I'm outside of my his smoke fire penalty. So I'm not worried about taking those shots. Here he's going back in, and I was going to throw torpedoes in there, but it's not going to work. So there we get spotted. And then the Kagero pops up way out there, so there's the lone destroyer threat. We do get a couple defends on the Venetto, but we're going to focus and try and take out this Kagero. And this is why I love this ship at range, because the velocity of these shells is really fast. You can hit these targets really good. Look at that. Of the 6 shells, we got 5. And there we take him out and finish him up. So these things excel at range. They excel with their ballistics. They are a little squishy, but the health pool is starting to get really good at this point. So don't be afraid to stay at range and just farm these ships. Don't only do that. As you can see, we were inside caps. We were contesting. We were utilizing our torpedoes. So this is a really good cruiser role ship, even though it's not classified as that at all. Don't be afraid to play them like that. So if you're struggling with this line, if you're struggling playing these quote-unquote destroyers, try a different approach and see how well you fare. Because I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Here the Venetto, he did not go AFK. It looked like he did. I think he just stopped shooting. I don't know whether he just kind of resigned himself to his fate, but he's going to plow right into the island. He's not going to move, and I don't see him shoot another salvo for the rest of the match. I think he just kind of gave up, but he didn't quit the game, which, oh wait, there, he did shoot another salvo, but he's going to go down rather quickly. He's got all these fires against him, and kablooey, he is done, right? Whoa, wow, he's still surviving. I thought he was dead. Okay, you can die any moment here. How is he still alive? Venetto's a lot tankier than I gave it credit for. But there he finally goes down. We do a great job whittling all the way down to no health, and then none of us can finish him off, which is hilarious. Bismarck is all that's left. Yeah, this is pretty much GG's at this point. And shooting at him from range, even though he's got long-range secondaries, I'm not concerned about this at all. Just going to stay at range and keep farming and get a little bit of bonus damage before this game is all wrapped up. But that's kind of how I enjoy playing these Russian destroyers. Here we're going to be taking a look at the Delny next. Don't have as many games in it because it's a relatively new ship to me, but it is a really fun ship. I really enjoy it a lot. Very tanky. It's got some really good armor. It's a pretty good precursor to the Khabarovsk, which we'll show also. So looking forward to those two. They're probably the top of the line when it comes to these destroyers, and really excited for it. So stay tuned for that. So that's a look at the cruiser role Tashkent. And we do relatively well. Take top spot, a little over 2,600 base XP. So thank you very much, captains, for tuning in. GG's to everyone involved, especially the Summers, who played a relatively good game as well. So as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know how you enjoy this line, or if you don't. Hopefully you'll learn something from this, but if not, I hope it's entertaining, and because that's what I want to bring you guys. So that's going to do it for me today. I will look forward to seeing you guys soon, and this is the USS Endeavor signing off.